What's up everyone, I'm Chirag and welcome to the video on how to get alerts when any user log in via AWS console. Now in the scenario where it is critical to send notification or keep track of the console login event for all or specific IAM users, we need some mechanism that can take some action based on the console login events. Now here one of the use case for this could be to receive or send a notification if root user is logged in via console, because you do not want anyone to access the AWS account via root user. So in this video we will set up something that can send the email notification based on console login event for all the users. Now let's quickly go through the flow that we are going to follow throughout this video. So the flow looks something like this. So whenever the user logs in via AWS console, the CloudTrail will record the console login event, and within EventBridge, we will have a rule in place which will get triggered based on the CloudTrail's console login event. And once the rule is triggered, it will invoke or call the targets, which could be SNS, Lambda function, or any other AWS service. And here the rule can have multiple targets. So this is the overall flow that we are going to implement in this video. Now as a next step, we will create the SNS topic with the email subscription because we want to receive the notification via email. Then we will create the CloudTrail trail. So basically a trail is a configuration that enables the delivery of the CloudTrail events to the Amazon S3 bucket, CloudWatch logs and EventBridge rules. So to receive the login notification successfully, we need to create the trail, and then finally we will create the EventBridge rule. And at the very end, we are going to test this setup. So now as a next step, join me on the console to get started. Now once you are within AWS Management Console, let's go ahead and create the SNS topic. So for that, we will navigate to Simple Notification Service console. Now here once you are within SNS, click on Topics from the left panel, click on Create Topic from the top right corner. Now within creation of this topic, we will configure type and the name of the topic. So within type, we will select standard and you can provide any appropriate name for this topic. I will say console login events. And once you are done with this configuration, click on create topic. After creating the topic, we are going to create the email subscription because we want to receive the notification via email. So for that, we need to create the subscription. So click on create subscription. As a part of the protocol, we will select email because we want to receive the email notification. And then we need to enter the email address as a part of the endpoint. So in my case, I want to receive the notifications on this email address. Okay. And after you create the subscription, that means after you click on this create subscription, you will receive the email from SNS to confirm your subscription. Okay, so without confirming the subscription, you will not receive any notification or any emails via this topic. Okay, so click on create subscription and as a next step, log into your email and confirm that subscription. So let me do that now. The subscription confirmation email looks something like this. So here all you need to do is click on confirm subscription and then it will open a new tab and provide the acknowledgement with subscription confirmed. Now once you are done with this, the next step is to create the CloudTrail trail. So let's navigate to CloudTrail Management Console. Now once you are within CloudTrail Management Console, click on this icon from the top left corner and click on Trails. Now if you have already created the trail, then you don't need to create this again. Okay, but if you have not created, then let's click on create trail. Give the trail name, I will say management events. Within storage location, you can create a new S3 bucket or you can also use existing S3 bucket to store your logs. So in this case, I will move on with the create new S3 bucket and here we have the name. And then if you want to encrypt your log file with SSEKMS, then you can check this. If not, then you can uncheck this. For now, I will uncheck this. If you want to validate your log file, then you can check this as well. And then if you want to store the logs or write the logs to the CloudWatch logs, then you can enable this. Okay. And then once you are done with this configuration, click on next. Now within event type, make sure you check management events, and within API activity under management events, make sure you check read and write option both. And then once you are done with this configuration, click on next, review your configuration, and then click on create trail. Now here we have successfully created the trail. Now as a next step, we want to create the rule within EventBridge. And once you are within Amazon EventBridge, click on rules under events from the left panel, or you can directly click on create rule from the top right corner. So let's click on rules from the left panel and then click on create rule. Give the rule name. I will say console login notifications. Enter the description if you want. Event bus, we are going to select default. Within rule type, we will select rule with an event pattern. Click on next. Within event source, we will select AWS events because we want to trigger this rule based on the AWS events, that is the AWS console sign-in events. Okay, so that's where we will select the first option. And then we need to configure the event pattern, that on which kind of pattern we want to trigger this rule. Okay, so within event source, select AWS services. Within AWS services, search for console login and select AWS console sign-in. Within event type, you can select all events, or you can select AWS API call via CloudTrail, or you can only select the sign-in events. So in this case, we are going to select the sign-in events. And then you can trigger this rule for all the users, as well as if you want to trigger this rule for specific user, then you can select the specific user and provide the ARN of that particular user. But in this case, we will select any user. And then once you are done with this configuration, click on next. Here we will configure the target type and the target itself, that when the rule is triggered, which target we want to invoke. And as of now, we will select AWS service as target type and Amazon SNS as a target. Within SNS topic, we are going to select the topic that we have just created, that is console login notification. Okay, we are not going to configure or update any additional settings, so we are going to leave it as it is. But apart from target one, you can add multiple targets like Lambda function or any other AWS service that you want to invoke. Okay, but for now we will move on with only one target, and then click on next. Add a tags, click on next, and finally review the configuration and click on create rule. Now if we look at the setup flow, then we have configured everything that we need. Now it's time to test this setup. So we have created the CloudTrail trail, we have created the EventBridge rule, we have also created the SNS topic with the email subscription. Now it's time to log in into the AWS console via some different user to check if we are receiving the email notification or not. So let's jump back to the console. Now let me quickly open the IAM management console. I will click on users, and here I have multiple users with the name Chirag, SRCECD and test. So we are going to use one of this user to log in into the console and see if we are receiving the notification or not. So let me open this Chirag, and I will click on security credentials. I will copy this console link. I will open the Firefox browser and I will paste this link to login. So here the username is Chirag, and then I will enter the password. Sign in. So here we have successfully logged in with the user Chirag, that is the IAM user. Now we should receive the notification about this console login event via EventBridge rule. So let's check the email. So guys, this is how the email notification looks like. It has the subject that is AWS notification message, and it has all the information about the user login or the console login, so to say, about the user, that which user logged in at what time, from which IP address, and the browser information or the agent information, and whatnot. And if the console login was a success or it has failed, so all that information you should be able to read from here. Okay. So guys, in case if you do not receive the notification instantly after setting this flow up, then you might have to give it some time, that is 10 to 15 minutes, for CloudTrail to start recording the events and then send the notification. So in case if it does not work instantly, please give it some time and then try to test it again. Okay. So guys, that's all I wanted to cover as a part of this video. Until that time, if you want me to do tutorial on any use case or service, then please leave them below and I will try my best to come up with the tutorial as soon as possible. And if you have any queries or comments, then again please leave them below and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and see you next time.